Okay, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio, Seablock. So, in this episode, we are definitely going to tackle one specific problem, which is power. Before I do that, though, I would like to talk about some of the changes that I made. We'll see if they work out when I preview the recording. But basically, I turned off my compressor. I turned off my noise gate. If you know what those two things are, you'll know that the quality of the recording might suffer. But the noise gate in particular is going to be causing a problem where the first sounds of certain words, like so, for example, if you say it quietly at first, so, it won't get picked up in the beginning. It'll get picked up halfway through. And then, of course, the end of certain words can get cut off as well if you trail off quietly. So I do tend to speak that way, and so I turned it off completely. Hopefully, there won't be too much background noise, keyboard, mouse clicks, all that kind of stuff. And if there is, I'm going to have to figure something out. But power, yes, it's inevitable with Seablock because in order to produce enough slag, you need to run a ton of electrolyzers. And electrolyzers are crazy power hungry. Like if we look here and we look for the last hour, see this blue line right here? This crazy blue line? That is the energy draw of just the electrolyzers. And nothing else. And then all this stuff down here that looks pretty negligible by comparison, that's all everything else. So a significant amount of our power is used by electrolyzers. For that reason, just so I can get a little bit ahead of myself here, I'm going to cut off power to a few of them. So now we need to delicately balance having enough materials to build the machines that we need and building the machines to generate more power. So I was going to use the carbon dioxide, but I did an experimental playthrough, and this is not ready yet. We're not ready for using mineralized water. We need to keep the mineralized water to ourselves, and we'll set up the algae 2 recipe later on. This mineralized water needs to go exclusively to the crystallizer to keep the copper and iron flowing so that we can properly set this up. So with that in mind, we are going to be producing a lot of extra brown algae, but that's quite alright. Do we have any landfill? Not much. Now, we're researching washing. In my experimental playthrough, I also decided that washing is a significant source of landfill, so we're going to have to set that up as well. So, for now, I think up here is fine. And we can simplify this a bit. Yeah, so we need lots and lots of algae. So I'm thinking a splitter is probably a good idea. Doop-a-doo. That's going to filter out the brown to the right. And then we'll... put a box there. Can't wait to get the steel axe. Anyway, alright. Alright, so our landfill is extremely limited. We need this much space. And that's as far as we're gonna go. Looks like about 2 algae farms. We can get this one up and running though. We're also going to need a lot more machines processing the algae as well. Wow, crafting is slow. I guess it's because we ran out of the basic circuit boards, or the basic circuits. Yeah, basic circuits. And I don't really have a way of producing those easily. We don't have the space for the machines required for that. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. Meanwhile, we can have a look at some of these other things that are going on. Flag flowing is okay. Obviously we need landfill, so we gotta have that going as well. This stone, 211. Yeah, we'll recycle that. But should I make landfill with it? Landfill or metal? That's the current question. Landfill, metal, or algae? Aw. My kitty's got hiccups. Now these don't have enough power. Oh yeah, they do. That's nice. But they're gonna need a lot of inserters to get this up and running. So I guess we can finish washing. So we'll give this a little bit of copper. And yeah, so this... Oops, like that. Now, what are we going to do with the brown algae? For this one. Well, I could pick this up and we could use this for more room elsewhere. Or for more, for other buildings. You know, our beginning spaghetti, hopefully we can start to get rid of some of that starter spaghetti. Because I never intended to design anything like this. It was just lack of landfill, lack of technology, lack of just about everything. We're not going to do washing here. That would be great to do washing here. I think I will actually set up some processing of brown algae and basic circuits down here. It'll be hand fed for now, but that's fine. The other thing we could do I don't know how far out we're gonna need to go. Definitely this is not enough space. We could start processing these things. Okay, well, we've got enough power at least. That's good. So we have 3.6 megawatts total available. Why did we shut that off for some reason? Or did I just clear this? No, it's all being consumed there. So why don't I go ahead and turn on one more electrolyzer. Like I said, we do need the materials. We need them badly. Okay, so we can do very limited space here. One is going into brown, and then the next one makes this thing. Now this could get fed by this, so we could start down here.
Marcus is being precious.
Yeah, I know. I already commented on it in my YouTube video that I'm recording. Said I already commented on it in a YouTube video that I'm currently recording, that you're now featured on. That's my bad for not telling her I started recording. It's alright though. So, this can get moved, I think. So you're gonna make this stuff, and then this can be hand fed and feed into that. And then we make what, paper and what are these two buildings? I forget. You're gonna make paper from the cellulose pulp, and are we don't have any more. This all needs power as well. So we're basically just gonna put brown algae in here and get tasty circuit boards out of it. Okay, how's our power situation? Obviously we're gonna need more boilers. I would like to be able to move our algae processing in order to create space for more boilers, but one thing was that in my test playthrough, I managed to get one more boiler and 2 steam engines in here. Just like that. So, given that landfill is at a premium at the moment, this is a good setup. How are we doing on metals? We're doing alright. We need stone. There we go. Yeah, this is fairly slow. Part of the reason why it's such a problem as for handcrafting, because this stuff just takes a long time. So having the machines do it so that we don't have to do it in our pocket is going to help a lot. Now, this new method of... Oh, that's not what I want. these wood blocks I can take from here. This new recording method is pretty handy because it gives me a little bit less of an unprepared feel. That's right, I needed to... This thing is just crushing slag, so it's really not useful for anything. That's right, I did it like this, like that. You can go this way now. Yeah, in the first 2 episodes I kind of rambled a little bit. Actually, the first one I practiced, and so it was less rambly. But this one, I also practiced. And I think it's a better system. It's just far more time consuming because I have to first play the game as if I were recording it, and then actually record it. And then I have to play back the video and listen to it to make sure that it's not boring, that it's not cringy. But I'm getting there. This is all new to me. And I hope you're enjoying it. So, we've doubled our power output. In theory, we would need to make sure we can provide enough charcoal for that to happen. We are clearing our algae as quickly as it comes, so theoretically that's all working pretty well, so we can focus on expanding this. Now, I don't have max rate calculator installed. I guess I do have access to Helmod here. I could do it that way. But in my testing, I did about 3 of these to... 3 of the wood pellets to 1 wood brick. And then it needed, I think, 1.5 stone furnaces, something like that. And then I'm not sure how many of these provides that much cellulose fiber, but let's see. That doesn't hold much, does it? Yeah, we could do it in Helmod real quick. So, if you've never used Helmod before, you need to add a recipe. So the best way to do it is to get the probably the wood blocks is probably fine for this, because, well, if you want to do it properly, then you would do petrochem, you would go to charcoal, and then just delete this. So it gives you these ingredients, so you say, okay, well, I want some wood to be made, I want some wood pellets, I want some cellulose fiber from algae. It's giving you the option because there's so many different ways to do it. And then the algae, sure, that, well, why not? Let's just do it that way. Okay. So it's gonna ask us for the output. I don't know how much charcoal we're gonna need, but let's just give it an arbitrary number for now, and we can tweak the numbers. So as you can see, this is requiring 2 assemblers for wood bricks. So if we adjust the numbers down a bit to 9, 1.8, oh no, 2. Let's try 5. That brings us down to 1. 6. Okay, so 5 is the magic number there. Alright, so that tells us that we need 6 of these for the wood pellets, which is double what I was thinking. And 10 for cellulose fiber. So it's 10 to 6 to 1. And then 4 stone furnaces. wood, turn it all into charcoal. 10 to 6 to 1. Power's looking pretty good. I should probably start a charcoal buffer. And one of the things that I like to do is have the charcoal buffer not automatically feed back into the power grid. Or at least I have one that does and one that doesn't, basically. And the reason why I do that is because if the power grid fails, I have to fix it first, and then I have to manually feed some sort of fuel into it to get it started. So having this little bit of charcoal hanging out is going to save us in case we have a catastrophic failure. I also need to make sure this chest doesn't fill up. Alright, so speaking of the chests, let's see if we can't make some more algae here. Because we don't have any boards yet. Why do we not have any boards? Because this is fake. There we go. Yay, we got some boards. Cool. That'll accelerate our building process. Alright, so now the real question is landfill. Do we have enough landfill to make this look nice? Well, you guys are out of fuel. That's always nice, isn't it? We can use charcoal for this. Now the problem with this buffer is that it's taking charcoal away from the belt buffer and not returning it. So I think it's a little premature for that. And did we grab any landfill? So it was 10 to 6. That means it's like 2 to 1. How many algae farms is that? That is... oh, 39. What the heck? Alright. Well, we're obviously not going to get to that point anytime soon. What are we missing? Iron plate. Oops. Power. Still an issue. So I think expanding that upward is important. Looks like we might have some landfill. There is technically some landfill in here. Boop. Jeez. Alright. This is the power spiral that you are almost certainly going to experience in beginning of Seablock. So I think part of it has to do with these are full, aren't they? One of these is full. No? They're not full. So this is full of wood pellets, so that's nice. But we're not going to get very far. How big do you need to be? About that big, for now. Okay, well. It is what it is. I guess we're just going to put a box here for now. Because can't fit the machines. Four whole wood pellets? Really? Wow. We'll just make the brown chips for now, so we can make other buildings. So we gotta get more landfill. We gotta get more landfill and more iron, which means we need more electrolyzers, which means we need more power. Interesting that. Let's go ahead and turn on all of them? All of them. And then we'll just hyper focus on the power. Oh, landfill could be made by washing. So, yeah, I don't think we're ready for that just yet. I could be manually crafting some of this stuff. 10 wood pellets. So, I do have crushed stone, so I'll make 16 bits of landfill, but that's not going to be enough to add another algae farm in there. I could turn this one off. And get rid of this. Yeah, this is space inefficient right here. We're going to reclaim all this space. Which means I should also probably move the labs down. Oh, actually, we do need a second. Well, we don't need a second liquefier. We only need a second crusher. Can't wait till I get faster inserters. Okay, so now that's down one electrolyzer, but that's fine. That does give us an opportunity here. $15 wood pellets. Very nice. I was able to make some wood bricks. Now I need some of these for power poles, but I think power is a bit more important right now. The next step is going to be making the wood bricks out of this. We have some landfill actually. Would go there. Yeah, we may as well. Hey, why didn't you make... I didn't tell you to make it, did I? I've also decided I'm going to do slightly longer episodes. I think shooting for 45 minutes with Seablock is not unreasonable. I will be editing down some of the videos, possibly just re-recording the voiceover. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to experiment with the format. I do want to have videos available for people who are limited on time, but my view of that is you could always just come back to where you left off. You don't necessarily have to watch a whole video, but I think most people watching Seablock are going to want to see a longer form video just to see all the different things that are going on. So I think that's reasonable for me to extend the length. Seablock is not a very quick method of playing Factorio. If you want a quick and dirty method to play Factorio, you gotta play vanilla. Now I need charcoal for this to make more copper. We'll get there, don't worry. Alright, well I have enough space here to make a furnace. I'm also gonna, because I'm not handcrafting anything, I'm gonna forage for cellulose fiber. In fact, you can have some cellulose fiber for now. Now, one thing I could do is I could disconnect everything that goes out to the electrolyzers from the wind. So in theory, all of this is on its own power grid. And all of this is on its own power grid. Yes. What that means is that we should be at full capacity on our power generation. Yes, yes, okay. So that's, temporary. Eventually it'll reconnect itself via some rogue power pole. But for now, that guarantees that the algae farms are running 100%. Okay, let's check on our landfill. 32. Alright. Well, with the crushed stone that we're gathering here, probably enough for at least one more algae farm. And then after we make this next algae farm, we're gonna have to go to washing. Now you don't want to do that, please. You need to feed yourself. So you feed yourself, nice. And then you need an output. We can verify, actually, that had an improvement, because we can check the rate of green algae production. It went up slightly. Very, very slightly. About 6 minutes ago. Oops. Okay, so I think the next step on this end would be making a boiler, so we can actually consume that as power. But obviously, before we do that, we're gonna try to fit one of these things in. Wait. Looks like no. Looks like they use way more than I was thinking that they do. That's okay. That's okay. Seablock is not a sprint. It's an endurance race. Alright. Well, in order to give this a satisfying conclusion to the episode, I'm going to pause the current recording. I'm going to finagle with the power a little bit, and then I'm going to catch you up when I have a little bit more power, something more sustainable, and then we can go from there. All right? Okay, and welcome back, everyone. So, the issue that I ran into while I did this was landfill. It wasn't getting fast enough because I was using too much of it to make mineralized water. So I got rid of some of the inserters here. Everything's moving a little bit more slowly, but it is clearing the line, so we are making use of all the slag. But the effect is that we are accumulating landfill slightly faster. Sort of a delicate balance between having enough iron and copper. Oops. Oh, you're out of fuel, that's why. And having enough landfill. So, we do have some fuel in this chest. I'll give half to you and half to you. And I think when we get enough landfill, we might move these boilers up there and reclaim that space, maybe for some washing. Yeah. But we're in decent shape. I reconnected the two grids together, so this is power being used from the entire island. We're at 4 megawatts, roughly, power usage. We're not quite supplying that most of the time, but we're a lot closer than before. So that's just a lack of algae production, I think. So this one is now sending up to here, and it is inefficient having two inserters to do the job of one, but it's just kind of a temporary addition to the power. So we are at 42 minutes, so I said at least 45 minutes is a good length for the new episodes. I think expanding the electrolyzer setup is probably necessary at this point, even though we don't have the power for it. So can we fit one more in here? It looks like no. Oh, I guess I could have done without that top row, huh? It's alright, no big deal. So the way I currently have it working out is the ones at the top are sending all the way across, and then the ones at the bottom are feeding to these little feeder belts that are pushing it onto the near side. We don't have near inserters yet, but we're gonna get there eventually. Okay, so there's not enough algae coming down here to feed these two boilers. So we're getting a backlog of, yeah, exactly. So I should put that chest back in. Is that the best way to do it? Well, we don't have enough landfill to... I might be able to fit this in. Let's see. I dig these up. You can go back to normal. We're going to include the tiles, not the water tiles though, because that'll give us explosives. We don't have anything like that. So it would look like this as far as the tiles that we need go. Yeah, we don't have enough yet. Got pretty close though, and we can at least put... Oh no, we can't. We need this area as well. So that's 4, 7... 21. So we need like 25 pieces of landfill to make that work. Hey, would you look at that? No power.
So cute.
We're gonna need to be firing stone bricks pretty soon. Okay, but this is a good setup. Some of the algae is coming down here to fuel this boiler, I don't know, occasionally, right? Yeah, very occasionally. But remember, this is on our whole grid, so 4.9 megawatts of power is giving us all the slag that we need in order to make all this extra landfill. Very important that we're making this extra landfill because it's going to give us the opportunity to expand upward that way. Now, some of that was a waste, but it felt good. You know what I mean? So I'm actually going to do the same thing. I'm going to blueprint one algae farm. I should do a complete one, shouldn't I? And accept the tiles. I went too high, didn't I? Cool. And now when I place this down, it'll place the tiles. There you go. So that's a view of what we need next. We also need this bit though, don't we? But I think that's a good stopping point. We got just enough power, just enough to get us to the next phases. So now it's a land grab, pretty much. We're gonna have to create our own bits of island here and expand outwardly, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day.